G'day folks. Now it's time for your friendly neighbourhood update. Well, I haven't done one for a while, so I figure I'll just try and do a little bit of what I can think of. Not that there's been a huge amount of stuff happening, it's just mostly been work and more work. Yeah, but the holidays went off alright and back at work it's as usual. What's been happening? I got my sister's Xbox in for an attempted Red Ring of Death fix. It's a complete unit. She paid $100 for it not long ago and the damn thing's already done a red ring, so that's a bit of a pain. So we'll have a look at that and try and work out the best way to try and reflow the CPU or GPU, whatever it is. It's worth a try. If not, she's going to have to buy another one. That's one of the reasons I don't like them, is BGA, big chips. I was reading in PC Authority, Intel's thinking about moving away from socketed CPUs as well and just BGA soldering them to the main boards. And that sounds like a horrible idea. They said the technology is tried and true, but I don't think it's tried and true given how many Xboxes and things are dying from BGA chip failure or solder, ball grid array solder failure. So maybe not such a good idea, Intel. Don't do it. Other PC stuff, I've mainly been playing games and things in my spare time. Done a bit out here. But Far Cry 3 is definitely an awesome game. You've got to go get it. It is an absolutely amazing game. Very well written. I finished the single player campaign and it's a roller coaster ride sometimes. It's amazing. Oh, very well written. It's like a good movie, but you play well, I shouldn't say a movie that you play a role in, because that would basically be a Call of Duty single player. No, this is a lot less linear. Definitely a lot less linear. It's open world. You can pretty much choose your own attack method for most areas. And there are some quick time events and things, but that's to be expected, and they're actually a lot better than simply waving a knife at your enemy till he falls over. Like for a boss fight, your boss fights require some pretty quick reactions on a quick time event rather than simply waving your knife at him until he drops dead, or just shooting him. So yeah, it makes things a lot more entertaining and interesting for a first-person shooter. Well worth getting. Go get it. And it especially looks good on the Sharp Aquos 46-inch LED HD TV, because that thing just performs just as well as any computer monitor. It performs as well as your high-end gaming monitors, but it's 46 inches, not 23 inches or something. So yeah, that TV is well worth the $1,200 if you can get them that cheap. I think the recommended retail was still about $2,000, but if you can get them for under $1,500, it's an absolute bargain for what the TV is and for the amount of features that it has. The only thing I haven't noticed is I don't think it has picture-in-picture, which kind of sucks, because I like being able to bring up a security camera in the corner of the monitor if I hear something clunking outside or somebody causing trouble out on the street. I mean, I've got a display out here, but there's another one going inside, or another two, and I like to be able to pull them up on picture-in-picture, and I can't do that. So yeah, that's where the old monitor was kind of handy. And without an Xbox that works, my sister won't be enjoying it as much. I only gave it to her Christmas time, on Christmas Day, and now her Xbox is red ringed. So yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. Likewise, Dishonored is also another awesome game you have to pick up. It was on Steam sale for a while, half price over Christmas, but I think it's back up to full price now. But either way, it's still worth full price if you like stealth action kind of. It is a shooter. You do get a pistol, but it's not that crash hot. You can upgrade it a bit afterwards. But the real fun is when you sort of try and do it covert, but still get your blade bloody. That's really fun. You sneak up on them and just stab them in the neck, or engage a whole pile of guards or something like that, and use your abilities like slow time and walk a guard into the path of a bullet that another guard has previously fired at you, and then when time resumes, that guard's bullet kills the one that you've moved. And you move that guard by possessing them. So there's loads of cool abilities. You can possess people and animals. You can bend time, blink from one location to another instantaneously. Limited range, of course, but that's a load of fun, blinking behind somebody and then choking them out or knifing them. I haven't played much of the Assassin's Creed sort of thing, or Hitman, but I'd say it's sort of like Hitman and that sort of thing, where you sort of got to be very careful about what you're doing, because you do die fairly quickly too. It can be pretty punishing. So yeah, Dishonored's well worth getting as well. So I've been playing them, almost finished Dishonored on I believe the last mission, and I've definitely finished the single player missions on Far Cry 3, and actually having a hell of a lot of fun just chasing up all the other side missions and things in the background, so that's really good. I dragged this out because I was expecting somebody to be buying it again, but again he's having trouble with, well, he's quite young, so his parents don't exactly approve of him buying an engine, well, his mother anyway, so I hope that's all sorted out. I'm practically giving it away at the price I've quoted him, so it'd be silly not to get it considering how well it runs. It does need a little bit more of a clean up and service, like new hoses and things. That one's not the healthiest, but again, I just pulled it out of a pickup truck and gave it a good clean up and valve lash and put a better carby on it, no emission, non-emission carburetor, and blanked off the EGR and everything. So it's a nice runner. It's a really nice runner. And everything's included. I'm just going to cut it off at the stand and just put it on some wooden skids. So yeah, not a bad engine. I'll probably do that tonight. And as for the Westinghouse, well, I need a huge engine to drive that. Huge. So it's lots of torque and a maximum of 800 RPM, so little like air-cooled engines and things just ain't going to cut it. The little 2 horsepower or 3 horsepower sundial engine ain't going to do it. This thing needs 40 horsepower or so to be able to run at 50 amps all day. Lesser horsepower is fine for just running a rack of light bulbs or something like that, but well, for display anyway you don't need a huge amount of horsepower, but if this was to be practical I'd say about 50 or 60 horsepower would keep this thing really happy. I mean, you look at the size of the flat belt that's going to be running, that's like a 5-inch flat belt, 5.5-inch flat belt. So yeah, pretty decent. And yes, it was painted, oh, it was completely nothing but rust when I got it, and I've spent a long time just gradually painting parts and restoring them. So yeah, when I said I was going to paint it the other night, I just meant blow some epoxy enamel over the cracked and scraped bits that I damaged when I put it together, and that's what I've done. You can see all the bolts are now painted and everything's pretty schmick. So yeah, that one's done. Well, not 100% done. I still got to put condensers across the brushes, and ignore the noise in the background, that's the door blowing in the wind. It's actually quite loud from here. But yeah, I've got to work out find a field rheostat that's the correct rating for this generator, and you can use that to control the voltage at any given output. So at the moment output's speed dependent, whereas before it should sit at 110 regardless of load. More load just means more amps, and I believe that's the principle behind the shunt wound generator. So there's still a bit more working out to do, but as a demonstration piece, if you just watch the volts and just keep it spinning at the right speed, it won't overspeed or overvolt, and it works quite well. It works really well for something that was sitting out in the weather for a few decades, and God knows how old it is. I've got no idea how old that is, but it ain't new, I'll give you that much. Anyway, that's more than enough. I'm about out of battery, so yeah, thanks for watching and stay tuned for loads more.